Good afternoon and welcome back. We are here again with you, and we are not through a radio station, just a web station. But those are our favorites anyway. So, and you know that from last week we had a guest and talked about what happened with Orion. We were trying to shed some light on what happened to on Orion, and we still don't know anything. Our guest claimed he didn't know anything. I don't know. We know very little, and all we have is suspicion, but whatever. And also what we know is that the domain is for sale. It's a GoDaddy domain and it's for sale. That's all we know.
Did you make a bid?
No.
Huh.
Well, I cannot run a radio station. What am I going to make a bid for? Okay?
Yeah.
I guess we should do the thing that we can transmit from our website, but that's a different thing, not having our own.
Well, right.
rates.
That's actually more along the lines of 365, the thing that we had a couple of years ago.
Right, I remember.
But, we're still on Spreaker.com, and we're still on TalkSuperstation.com. Shout out to Diamond Joe. Thanks. He's he picked up your show from Orion, and he's been running it for months now. But just when he found out about the network, he says as long as we have files to run, he's going to run them. So we appreciate it.
And we do have. Yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you. And we do have files. And we just want to keep up because of all the things that are going on. And there is something I like to discuss. Last week, before we ended, I said I was planning to talk about the omega-3 thing. I've always been against omega-3 oil, but that's my personal view, and I've had some confirmation on the subject. But I wanted to talk about this, and I couldn't last week because we all got tangled up with what our guest wanted to discuss. But so I promised to talk about it today, and I will. But the first thing I want to discuss is not it, and is not even directly medical. Okay?
Okay.
What has to do with is Ukraine. Okay?
Yeah. Really, the news of the month, really, of the year, probably.
Beside the Oscar is the Ukraine.
Oscar.
And and it's still not clear why Russia invaded Ukraine. Why? It's not clear at all to me. I don't know if it is to you, but other than that's the typical behavior that over the years has always been tied to Russia. And I remember I was a little kid and they were talking about, is this invasion of Hungary? Because Poland came later. Anyway, and there was never any excuse to do that. And there it goes again. Nothing has changed. Nothing at all. So they invade Ukraine. Why? We don't know. And everybody's complaining. And the answer from Russia is, well, it's hard now to pull the troops out. If it was that easy to pull them in, which is always the hardest thing, why now they can't do it because it's difficult to pull them back? That's another thing that doesn't make any sense. And then the other main thing that concerns us directly that makes absolutely no sense at all is we stand up and say, we are sending $1 billion to aid Ukraine. Why? You tell me, why should we and why are we sending $1 billion to Ukraine? Something that really we cannot afford. And nobody's complaining. Doesn't that infuriate you? I mean,
we got plenty of things at home that money could go for sure.
Well, listen, the thing that is connected with the medical conspiracy, and I was actually going to discuss it, but now even more, it's important, okay? The Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services is considering to cover lung cancer screening for high-risk individuals, which means right now it's not covering it. Okay, now, let me explain something to you. I hate all these screening, set screening, and all these things.
A lot of them just set you up for the big kill, right?
Yes, but they're talking about high-risk individual, which means people that have been smokers for many years, and even if they quit, but they have still smoked for many, many years. And they should be screened because I don't know if they are including people exposed to asbestos. They should, but it doesn't say anything about that. But they're saying that the Medicare and Medicare services have received formal requests to initiate a national coverage for lung cancer screening. Now, as I said, I am not really somebody that supported that kind of screening because most of it will find that you are sick when you're not. But the point is that if people want it and the doctor is requesting, what do you mean that Medicare and Medicaid are not going to pay for it? But, because we don't have the funds for it. Really? And we have $1 billion to send to Ukraine?
Right.
Huh? Oh. Come on. People at home have problems, whatever problems, and Medicare and Medicaid is always cutting their payments and everything. That is okay because we don't have any money. And affordable care has become an extremely expensive medical care, which might not do the job. But that is okay. And it's all the burden on the taxpayer because if you do not belong to the Medicare, do not list to the Medicare and Medicaid affordable care organization, then you're going to get taxed. Okay, so it's all the burden in the U.S. and you pay all this money to help other people. No, it's not going to help other people get medical assistance because it sounds like a Ponzi scheme to me.
And then you got Arkansas Republican State Rep Josh Miller. who used to be a big fan of Medicaid and Medicare, and suddenly changed his opinion.
I'm not only a fan; it was a user, wasn't it?
Yeah. I picked up a little thing talking about it. That he was in a catastrophic. Well, he is in a wheelchair now. He's a wheelchair patient. But he was in a car accident about 10 years or more ago and left him paralyzed. But he had $1 million medical bill, and it was picked up by Medicaid and Medicare, and now he opposes the expansion in Arkansas. So he's been voted Hypocrite of the Year by some website that started this and passing it around. Probably partisan agenda behind it, but still, that's hypocritical.
Absolutely, he got that, and you have to realize that if he's paralyzed in a wheelchair, he still needs help because he probably has a catheter, and those are expensive. They have to be changed, and they were trying to Medicaid was started to skimp on it and have him reuse it, and that causes infection. It's a mess. So I don't know where they are at right now, but it has been a major burden to that organization. And now he's saying, oh, no, that's fine. You have to have all these cuts. Really? Are you going to give back the money you took?
Yeah, that's the funny thing. They talk about, we're against redistribution of wealth, but it's fine now that it's already a done deal. That the last 30 years or whatever since Reagan, we've been redistributing the wealth upward. And nobody wants it undone.
Of course not. The ones that received it don't want it undone. Other people might, but not them. But it's all really hypocritical statement of the year. Individuals. I mean, and we are not saying anything. We're not complaining. How about the American people saying no? You cannot send this $1 billion outside the U.S. You do not have our permission.
No, they're too worried about. They're too worried about gay marriage.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're too worried about who's getting it.
Who's going to be on X Factor next season?
Or who's getting a divorce or something? I mean, that's what they were saying. I do not like that woman, okay? I do not like her.
Who?
She's the one that did the Oscar thing this year.
I didn't watch it. I don't know.
Ellen, I didn't either. But
you talking about Ellen DeGeneres?
Yeah. I call her Ellen DeGeneres.
She's a spokesperson for alternative lifestyle.
Right, but unfortunately for all of us, she's really funny, okay? That's the unfortunate part of it. But anyway, I don't particularly like the woman, but it's funny what she said. It's saying, oh, we were both so sad, her and her, what do you call it?
Girlfriend?
No, they're supposedly married, so.
Her wife?
Yeah, who is the husband?
Her wife-bund?
But anyway, and they said that they read in the news that they're getting a divorce. They didn't know about it, but they read that they were getting I said, oh, it was so sad. Anyway, that's funny. But in any case, that is the thing that gets the attention of American people. This money being thrown out of the country, it's not getting the attention. Nobody's starting to scream and saying, no, absolutely not. Impeach the president for it. Of course, he's just a figure.
And he's a puppet. I know.
Yeah, that's the thing. And he's one that, just his ego, because I'm the president. It's just an ego tripping, and he let all these crook puppeteers do whatever they want. He's not even trying. That's why he was picked. The other one before him was a complete idiot that didn't even know how to speak English, so obviously they could do anything they wanted. He wouldn't even notice. Okay? This guy is noticing, in fact, and you can tell his age many, many years, but he still likes that position. Anyway, so it's just all, I don't know, it's just all a propaganda, all a hypocritical, all lies. And another thing, there was an article about a TSA whistleblower of all people. Okay? TSA. And a whistleblower. And he was fired. You cannot be a TSA. And there is a Whistleblower Protection Act. Obviously, is not being
enforced.
Enforced, upheld, or, well, we all know if they don't upheld the Constitution, why would they do that? The whistleblower, oh gosh, and we all know what they can do to a person that is a whistleblower. Yes. And if it's not enough what they did to that person when she was a whistleblower, then they did more when she decided to fight the medical system. Okay? And then even more when she decided to have a radio show about it. Right? Okay. And the false propaganda goes on and on and on. Okay? Another article, the TSA whistleblower, he's still, and now he's going to the Supreme Court, by the way, because they fired him, is fighting all of that, he's been off his job for years, and he wants his job back, and it's the same old malarkey. Same old story. You do what is right, and you are guilty. I reported fraud to the FBI, fraud in the defense industry, and I was thrown out as an enemy of the country. And then, of course, you know what happened next with the medical. That's even worse. Anyway, and then, of course, you have to put up, and then you have to keep up the image of the cancer thing, because what they do is the greatest thing, and there's nothing wrong with it, and that's the way to go.
That's
okay.
The greatest money venture that there is.
No, but they're trying to feed the public that the people that follow standard treatment are the hero, are the great people, they're doing well. And this was an article talking about the news anchor for the WMC TV, okay, and I think it's in Tennessee. But anyway, apparently this woman has had breast cancer, and then of course she was a brave, nice little sheep, and she followed everything that the doctor. She followed all the things that the doctor told her to do. And get this, okay? One of the comments is that she is a 15-year-old TV news veteran. She thanked her co-workers for being so supportive during her breast cancer ordeal. Okay? She didn't say her breast cancer treatment, her breast cancer cure, her breast cancer anything. She called it ordeal. So that tells you something. Yeah. Okay? Well, but she's in the news because she decided that At this point, she was going to ditch her wig. And mind you, she didn't take off the wig when she was bald underneath. That you don't want to shock the public, so you don't want to show that. No, she did ditch the wig right now that her hair is regrown. And because she's black, her hair is curly, okay? It's not Velcro, but it's curly. And so what she's saying is that from now on, she is going natural. She's not going to use any more relaxer to straighten her hair. She's not going to do anything. She makes it look like she's a brave person going for the right action. And she's, one of the comments on the article was that she's beating another evil aspect. Not just cancer, she's also beating vanity.
Vanity, that's what I was thinking, yeah.
Okay, let me explain something. Cancer is not an evil. What evil is the cancer, standard cancer treatment? Cancer is cancer. It's not evil. It's just that the evil medical does not know how to deal with it. And what they do is they're messing people up. Same story. Vanity is not evil. And it shouldn't even be called vanity. The name for that is self-respect. Respect your own body, respect your own person, so you want to look at the best you can. That is self-respect. And if you have self-respect, you can go out there and accomplish things and be successful, help people do something, accomplish things in life. You don't feel good about yourself, you can accomplish anything. So it's not vanity, or whatever you want to call it. It is self-respect, and it's something that is needed. Without it, you cannot do anything. She wanted to straighten her hair because she felt she looked better. That's not vanity. That is trying to put herself in a position to feel really good about herself so she could go out and accomplish something. That's what it is. It's not evil. Of course, her mentality is if you feel good about yourself, you're not going to become a slave of anybody. And you're not going to believe anything, and you're not going to be controlled. And that's the evil for the people that want to control and have power over others. You don't have any self-respect. You just want to do pain and discomfort and being so tired. You just want it to stop. But you don't have time to think about what you can do with your life. So it's just horrible. And that's how you're being controlled. And then she comes up and say, I'm going to do this. And this is going to be a great example to young women. No, it isn't. You have been a sheep and you have acted as a zombie. Now, let me tell you the truth about why she won't straighten her hair anymore and leave it natural look, okay? What happened is that chemo patients not only lose their hair, but when the hair regrows, it's no longer what it used to be. It's very weak, has no body to it, and I don't know how bad it affects black women, but it's probably something down that line. Same line, just different because it's different coarse hair. So, but point is, the hair that regrows is no longer what it used to have, and you cannot do anything with it. If somebody actually tried to straighten it out again, and stand the chance of losing the hair again because it's really weak, as not the strength that it used to have, and it probably cannot go. Straightening the hair is pretty harsh process, so it probably cannot handle it anymore. So she's doing it so she can have a hair on her head. So the truth is never said. That's the truth. The hair you get back after is not the same. It's really breakable, has no any body to it. It's hard to style. It's not the same thing. So probably she made that choice of not straightening it out anymore because she can't. And she's probably sick and tired of wigs, which I can't blame her for that. Wigs are really awful. So, I mean, using it once in a blue moon because you feel like it is one thing, but having to use it every day, yuck. So, but that's the thing, misinformation of the public. She is not coming out and saying why she doesn't want to straighten her hair anymore and keep it natural. Because she has to. And the truth is not coming out. It's all, she's not saying it was horrible what they did to me. She called it ordeal of cancer, not ordeal of treatment, which that's what it was. And she's not saying the actual problem with her hair. So she's just assisting the propaganda. And I found that disgusting of somebody that went through the horrible experience, the horror of being treated for cancer. She should tell the public the truth, and she should warn. You would expect that somebody that suffered through that would stand up and warn other people. No, they don't, because they're so scared that the cancer will come back. Well, the cancer doesn't come back and never left. We start the treatment, the cancer never left. So it's not coming back. It's just being obvious again, taking up some strength. It's weakened by the chemo, just like the body's weakened by the chemo. But it's not gone. And then it will start again. And I don't know if people don't understand that. The medical knows it. They're just covering up. But do the individual patient understand that? I don't know. I hope they do. So, but it's great propaganda. See, that's what's happening. That's the thing to do. You have to go through all of that, and you have to get your body mutilated, pieces of your body whacked out. I mean, that's the way to do it. And you must do that, and you're brave. Not stupid or clueless or refusing to learn something. No, you're brave. That's a strange interpretation of what bravery is.
Because by the time they get to that point, they're convinced that that's the only reason they're alive, is because...
Yeah, I know. They do such a great job on making you understand those lies. And people, they feel so bad, and they start feeling a little better because the body's starting to recover from all that poisoning, and then they think, well, see, I made it. Yeah, you didn't make it through cancer. You made it through cancer treatment. That is a totally different thing, because it doesn't mean that what they use for treatment is there. And I have some things to discuss on that, some other MUMAB things out on the market.
The MUMAB brothers, they're back.
Yeah, see, we couldn't. Oh, man, we couldn't do without it. Okay, but what I started finally, and we're getting close to the... Yeah, so I'm going to introduce this thing, and then we're going to continue after the break. But what it is about testing done on monkeys, researching on the effect of omega-3 fatty acid, the effect it can have on the brain. And so they do it on monkeys, and then tell us, see, that is so great. We found a way to help the brain. Okay, wait a minute. Are you saying that we are monkeys? And I am not talking about the president, okay?
Or the monkey before him.
Well, that was...
Yeah. Little George was a monkey himself.
Yeah, it was a circus clown. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so... And I guess they felt that people would start complaining about this and say something, so they said, but no, it's not. It's just that there are some activities that are similar in the human brain to the ones of the monkeys. Oh, really? That's it getting even better. So if they help the monkey, they can help the human, okay? And they are saying that to protect themselves from saying that people are like monkeys, okay?
Well, and then, you've heard the thing about the pig DNA, too.
Well,
we're supposedly, really close to our DNA structure,
I thought that the pig thing was the liver. The pig liver is close to human liver. I don't know.
Because they're a relative of in some weird way. Yeah.
No,
we're part pig.
That's what it is. Because of the way the pigs are raised, they're really very dirty. Yeah, they're dirty, and they think that the Arabs are that way, and of course the Jewish religion too. But the Arab are even more. See, I know that. When I was at Iowa State, they had student housing, and one of the type of student housing across the street, there was a pig farm. Okay, I don't know if they still have it, but they had it back then. And the Arab students were just, oh man, flabbergasted, scandalized that there was a pig farm so near human quarters, and they just couldn't handle that. Okay, so I know they had. But anyway, so basically this study of monkeys, and I really don't like the connection either, but they established that eating specific foods such as salmon, tuna, mackerel, and other fatty fish is really good for the brain. And now, let me tell you something, okay? You cannot spend your life eating only those. You might...
Smell like a cat.
No, but I mean... Okay, and that's another thing. The foul smell of salmon is not of the wild-caught salmon. It's only the farm-raised that smell like hell, okay? It's farm-raised. It's not the wild salmon fished in Alaska. Okay, so we are about to hit the station identification / commercial break. But I want to continue this when we get back because there is something about the omega-3 issue that I have a problem with it, okay? People cannot eat fish all the time and only fish. You can eat fish occasionally, but not all the time. Okay. All right. We're going into the break.
Like a sideshow, just what you need to make you feel better.
You know that communications researchers, psychology researchers have said for years that many times you don't know what you think until you actually say it.
I know that you have a couple of things on your mind.
Say the first thing that comes to your mind.
What I'm about to say here is very controversial.
Come on, say it. Say it. Say it. Say it. Come on, say it.
All right, I'll say it.
Hey, I'm a talk show host. Isn't that lovely?
TalkSuperstation.com.
Say it.
Say it.
Talk.
Let's talk dirty.
Spoken here.
Talk radio. The only phone without it.
Take the Talk Superstation with you wherever you go.
Okay, who's using their iPhone?
Search for TalkSuperstation.com on the TuneIn Radio smartphone app and save it as a preset.
I'm going to switch the station. No, you don't switch the station.
We're also available on the Shoutcast radio app.
Well, let's get going.
Where loquacity meets mobility. TalkSuperstation.com.
You're listening to The Medical Conspiracy with Dr. Carpenter.
Okay, we're back with the issue of monkeys.
And pigs.
I
had a pig story. I thought we were going to get off on pigs. Ah, boy. Was renting a trailer out in the real boonies of Jacksonville, Arkansas. And with my ex-wife, okay, and the people we were renting from had
first
this
wife.
Right. Well, it wasn't a trailer park. It was a nice lot, kind of on the side of a hill out in the country, and it was a double wide. And we rented that for a while. Well, they had in the backyard a pen where they had this pig that they had gotten when, it was a baby, and they'd had it as a pet. And we were let know when we moved in that, come the week before July the 4th, he's saying bye-bye. And going to have him for a roast.
His dinner.
Yeah,
His
right.
dinner.
Right. And we had this little hyper dog. I forget what kind. I think it was a Jack Russell. But it was a hyper little thing. And it was one Sunday morning. Everything was quiet. You could hear a pin drop. You can hear the birds outside, and I hear this truck pulling up to the road next to the driveway, or pulling off the road next to the driveway, and goes around the house and goes way back into the back, half acre or whatever it is. And I'm thinking to myself, oh no, here it comes. And the dog is already freaking out. The dog knows something is about to happen.
See, that's really weird.
It is weird. The dogs are so sensitive to things we can't even comprehend. We're watching the dog, kind of just pacing up and down the floor, and all of a sudden, boom! And then you hear this, because apparently they didn't hit it at the right angle, so they had to take another shot. And, the first shot didn't kill the thing. But, yeah, the dog was traumatized, and wow. That's just something I'll never forget.
But you know what? I think it's because the dogs can see the aura.
Or maybe they can feel the fear.
I don't know. They can feel things and they can see things. How do you do you explain that the dogs they see a person they never seen before and they had a good reaction to them or a bad one? They must see the aura.
Yeah, possibly.
And that's there. We see it too. We're just not aware of it, because how do you explain when you totally dislike somebody when you first see the person? You totally dislike him, or I really like him, because it's the aura.
Well, and also the dogs pick up on unconscious things from their owners too. Perfect example is this, thing that lives next door to us.
Oh.
She's got a beautiful dog, but the dog just hates us. I mean,
the
dog can be inside the house, but at the closest point in that house next door, at the closest point to our house, barking at us in the next house, because we happen to be in the bedroom, which is the closest point where the two houses, I guess, come together. And we're not even doing anything but talking, and there's the TV might be on or something, but then when the TV goes off, we can hear this dog has been in there, woo, 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 woo. Doesn't like us, doesn't like Pokey.
Yeah, I know. They do have a thing.
Owner didn't have to teach that dog to not like us. It just picked it up, from the owner.
Do. Okay, so let's go back to the monkeys and the omega-3, okay?
Monkeys and pigs and dogs and and bears, oh my.
What they're saying is, and that's even worse than what I was saying about saying we are like monkeys.
Animal crackers in my soup.
No, they said that the omega-3 had an effect on the connection in the brain involved in the thinking process. Okay, so you're saying we're the same as monkeys, so the thinking of monkey is the same as ours, so it helps the monkey, we're going to help us. Please, okay? Do better than that. That's not a good article, but that's the implication. And I've always said this thing, because like in salmon, it smells like hell. I hate that fat smell. But too much of something, in my opinion, that altered the balance is not good. But they're saying, and the other thing they're saying about the omega-3 is that can affect the ADHD, and then we get back into the ADHD thing and go on, and then saying that, like this, only a trained healthcare professional can actually diagnose ADHD. Yeah, and they can have their ridiculous opinion, but I said
it's like only a trained chemo pusher can diagnose cancer, right?
Right. But the definition of ADHD indicates a pattern of inattention and hyperactivity. Okay? Well, to me, and I know that people are going to jump on me for saying that, all of this has gotten worse since they've taken PE out of the schools because it's too expensive. Let's not talk about the $1 billion by the Ukraine. Just bring the money into schools and bring back PE. Because children need that. And then after that, they're tired, they'll sit down and pay attention and not jump around all over the place. Just let them release their energy somehow. If you don't let them, then they won't pay attention. So, but they have drugs, so they can fix that, you see? And then only a professional can diagnose it. So there you're stuck. And then, of course, the problem with the drugs they use, well, that's another story. heart-related problem, mental problem, psychotic behavior, and blood circulation problem, Raynaud phenomenon, all these things caused by the drugs. Keep him off drugs and let him have PE. That's my answer. But of course, I get jumped on for saying things like that. And there is another study, and I like to bring it up now for a specific reason, because I just talked about the omega-3, okay? And what this article says, that vitamin E, who is much better, which is a much better choice than Coumadin, because it thins blood just as well, maybe not as fast, but just as well. And it doesn't cause...
It's not rat poison.
Right. It doesn't kill you. Well, it could if you use too much. But, okay, vitamin E and selenium supplements might double chances of prostate cancer. And yet they say if you take too much vitamin E, and they list too much vitamin E as 400 milligrams. It's not. Okay? It's not. But it's not too much. And selenium can double the chances of prostate cancer. Now, let's get into selenium, okay? Selenium has different uses, had different uses, and now is only used in a few type of DC power surge protectors. Okay, but selenium can become toxic in large amounts, but trace amount of selenium are necessary for proper cellular function in many organisms, okay? Including them. So you have to have some selenium. You might not, you shouldn't exaggerate and have too much and have too much supplement, but you also have to have it. You cannot be in a situation when you don't have it. So this article is the usual full of nonsense. But the important thing, and I try to discuss this immediately after the omega-3 fatty acid, is because of what they comment. Their comment is in this article. Okay, saying that the vitamin E and selenium are, it goes with other study that certain amounts of supplements, you take supplements, but you cannot take too many supplements, and certain supplements increase the amount of risk for cancer. And one thing that this article say is study of this nature have tied large amount of omega-3 fatty acid to endometrial cancer. Okay, speaking English, what is endometrial cancer? It is cancer forming in the lining of the uterus. Okay, so if you take too many omega-3 fatty acid, which all these researchers say they're good for your brain, well, it might be good for your brain, I don't know, unless you're a monkey, but they're bad for other parts of your body, okay? And in fact, they say that beta-carotene supplement can cause lung cancer and so on, other things about what causes colon cancer, folate acid for colon cancer. So you have to be careful. And the problem is that when you go to an alternative practitioner, they pump you up with so many supplements that you're bound to get sick of things you didn't have in the first place. So yes, the AMA is dangerous, and yes, they give you medication that can cause other problems. But so are the so-called alternative practitioners. They give you supplements, yes, and those supplements might be good if you need them. But the problem is they give them to everybody whether they need them or not. And the other thing is the amount they give you is too much, and that can cause additional problems. You have to be cautious. You cannot take their word. You have to investigate it yourself. You have to investigate it directly. Otherwise, you're up the creek, okay? And I've always disliked this thing of pushing omega-3. Oh, the more you take it, the better it is. It helps this and that. It helps your brain, and based on monkeys. That thing really gets me. It just, But then you see there are other indications that is not that good, which I suspected, because anything that is beyond the normal balance is not that good for you, okay? And yes, you can eat salmon occasionally. You can eat tuna occasionally, not every day. And by the way, you eat to replace the protein to keep up your body. Do you know that certain proteins are only in red meat? So you have to eat red meat too. It's not bad. Just don't eat red meat with too much fat in it, because they make soap out of beef fat. So it creates a serious cholesterol problem. But you do need to eat red meat too, and you need to eat a variety. Red meat, poultry, pigs, and forget the story of Randy. You know?
What? Oh,
yeah. Don't think of that story, or you won't eat any pork
right.
like you don't.
Well,
you know, see, so...
I do like bacon, though.
Yeah, see, that's hypocritical.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm guilty. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Gee, I don't know that in this country I have met a person that doesn't like bacon. There are some that cannot eat it because of religion, but I think everybody likes bacon. Personally, I like it pepper bacon, you know, with the pepper, like pepper on the outside.
The real thick stuff.
Yeah, and with pepper, it's really good. And I like bacon wrapped water chestnut. That's part of appetizers. Yeah. But anyway, so we're not talking about that, but you need to have variety in your food, and you can eat fish, but not just fish. It's not good for you. And that's not a Mediterranean diet. What they call Mediterranean diet is not. It's just, I don't know what it is. I grew up eating meat. We used to eat just veal, not beef, because Italy is not very good on raising cattle. It's just not their thing, and they're much better with veal. And everything else is just not. But, you know, and veal is considered the meat for children. So, but anyway. Okay, so just maintain common sense. A good balance and common sense. Okay? That's what you have to do in everything of your life. Why not the food? Okay, and then this other article that I found that came up with such great discovery, as if we did not all know it, but blood pressure medication, which is they're a big offender, are linked to serious fall injuries in elderly. They just discovered that. I could have told you that from my grandmother, okay? Years and years ago. I could have told you that, but they just discovered it now. And the funny thing is that they're not telling you why, okay? Why blood pressure medication causes serious fall in elderly. Blood pressure medication make you sick, make you dizzy, make you behave like you were drunk, and that's how you fall and hurt yourself. And being elderly, it's not a good combination. You know, it's a serious problem to have broken bone. But the interest to me about this article, and I think it will hit home for you too, Randy, is they're trying to, listen to this. They're trying to figure out why that happens, okay? Oh, gee, you don't know? But anyway, so what they're saying is that the difficult task is not so simple to determine what to do and recognize why this is happening, because most elderly patients, get this, are on 10 plus medication by the time they're 70. Does that tell you anything? Huh? Well, your mother case was, how many did she have? 28?
Oh my God, yeah, so many.
Not 10, not just 10, but, so you know that's the case, and they kept adding, instead of removing some and putting new ones, they kept adding to the ones she already had. And did she just die just like that? Probably they were medication that they were a contradiction one to the other. But see, what they're saying now is that most patients, most people, elderly, when they are 70, they are at least 10 plus medication. And this doctor actually say it is absolutely unequivocally shown that when you are on 10 plus medication, the side effects start to pile up. Really? Gee, what a discovery. And if you fall, the morbidity goes skyrocketing. You know what that means, the morbidity, what they call morbidity? Chance of death.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to cover up the brutal reality, and so they cover it up and say morbidity.
Oh, there's not a whole lot euphemistic about the word morbidity, though. I mean, morbid it's not a euphemism type word.
No, but listen, it's just avoiding skirting the word death. But anyway, and so what this doctor is saying is that whatever you gain with blood pressure lowering medication is eroded with what you lose in the blood pressure when you fall, okay? Well, you're falling because of the blood pressure medication makes you dizzy. It's just so confusing, the issue. But what was interesting in this article, although it was pretty worthless, it was the fact that I actually admitting that they put elderly American to an unbelievable amount of medication, which more than likely they don't need. And I have noticed that they very rarely check in advance if there is a conflict between one medication and the other. They might figure it out after the patient has died, but they don't before. See? And what about a blood pressure medication? You think they're going to stop giving them that medication even though the patient fell? No, they're not stopping it. It's just, I think that we are about, aren't we? About to the other break.
No, we got about 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we got a little time.
Wow, we're in business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, these segments are a little longer than what we're used to anyway.
Right, but still. Okay, now I promised you something about the new UMAB stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, this article showing a picture of melanoma on the skin says this: experimental drug helps body fight advanced melanoma. Okay, and they say an experimental drug, get this, I love this garbage. I don't love it, but I like to see how much they make a fool out of it.
Yeah, I'd like to be in the conference room when that happens too.
Yeah. Okay. An experimental drug that harnesses the power of the body immune system to fight cancer, I'll get to you on that one in a minute, I'll finish the sentence, has helped to some patients with advanced melanoma keep their disease in check for several years. This is what a new study indicates. Okay.
And help them keep their cancer for several years.
Right. Oh, but they say keep it in check.
Yeah, you don't want it going anywhere. Got to keep it in check. Keep it reined in. You know.
Yeah, you put guards at the gate.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess that's why I'm guilty, because I don't have guards and I may let it go away. See, that's what it is. I got it now. Okay. All right.
Cancer is the great equalizer now. You know.
Probably this initial sentence I have is harnesses the power of the immune system to fight cancer. No such thing. And then keep the disease in check for several years. Okay. First of all, as I said many times before, that's a problem. The AMA is trying to join the alternative practitioner by saying, okay, we are getting medication that are boosting the immune system, and that can keep the cancer in check. No, not possible. Because one thing is destroying Schroeder cells that are malfunctioning. The Schroeder cell malfunctioning, the good immune system can stop them. But if there are too many, the immune system cannot do anything. And when it starts growing as a tumor, is human tissue with your own DNA, the immune system. Yes, malfunctioning cell can be destroyed because they're just Schroeder cells. But a full piece of tissue growing, even though the immune system realizes something is wrong, it cannot attack it. Because if it did, it would attack even healthy tissue and kill the person. So, no, it cannot. It cannot happen. No. They are lying through their teeth to people, giving them false hope. Does that sound familiar? False hope? You just apply to them, though. And then keep the disease in check. For heaven's sakes, don't even consider killing the cancer. Don't even consider destroying the disease. Oh, no. Keep it in check for several years. And then what after that? What happened after that? Oh, well. And what is the name of this wonderful new drug? Nivolumab.
Nivolumab.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And people that were not involved in the study, they call these results remarkable to keep the disease in check. Killing it in place is not remarkable. It's fraud.
The profit potential is remarkable, though, I'm sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, we are getting into that in a minute. And this offers patients tremendous amount of hope. Okay, are we getting into the false hope thing? Tremendous amount of hope. Okay, and we are talking about, yes.
Lori Fulbright.
With the white coat.
Standing in front of a graphic that says false hope.
But this is called hope. It's not false hope. Tremendous hope. Okay. Not solving or killing the cancer. No! Hope. And this is potentially lengthening patient survival. Potentially lengthening the people's survival. To the point that they might not die of their disease at all. Of course not. They die of cancer, of the drug they're taking. Side effects of the drug. This is common knowledge. See, they say, this is so ridiculous. They say that some tumors make produce molecules that switch off the immune system ability to recognize and kill cancer cells. No, a tumor.
So that's why the immune system doesn't kill cancer, huh? Okay.
Because the marginal line built by the tumor. But nivolumab.
It's a Mason-Dixon line is what it is.
No, because see that the Mason-Dixon line is which state participated in the Civil War and which didn't, which was not a civil war, was a secession war. But Maginot Line was supposed to protect France from German invasion, okay? But they forgot a piece of it. So Germans went through, invaded Belgium and went behind the Maginot Line. This is the same. But anyway, nivolumab supposedly released the brakes a cancer has applied to the immune attack cell, restoring the body ability to clear the disease. Okay, yeah. That's why it keeps the disease in check. It doesn't kill it. If that were true what they were saying, the immune system will kill all the cancer. But it's not. It's keeping it in check. Okay, people in the study receive intravenous doses of the drug every 2 weeks for up to 2 years. And patient, get this, what happened to this patient is they either stopped treatment if the tumor disappeared. Yeah, did it? Or the side effects became too toxic. They stopped the treatment. Or they died. They are not saying that anymore. Or the tumor continued to grow. Or they withdrew the consent to participate in the study, which means that they were not feeling good at all. They were feeling bad and they did withdraw the consent. Okay, so, and they said that the responses were mixed. Some tumor did shrink and some tumor actually did grow in spite of the treatment. Okay, but this is better than the precursor ipilimumab, Yarvoy. This is better. Why? It's not clear. In this explanation, it's not really clear why this nivolumab, yes, is better than Yarvoy. Ipilimumab is better. And this study that said that was sponsored by the drug maker Bristol Myers Squibb. It was sponsored by the drug maker.
Here we are.
With her years of experience at the Sunshine Cab Company, you can count on Mary Lou Henner to get you home.
I mean, I'm a nice person. I work hard.
Well, you've got all the answers.
Drive home with Mary Lou Henner.
I've been pinching myself over this. I really have.
Hey, it's Mary Lou Henner. Join me right here on TalkSuperstation.com.
The Mary Lou Show, 5 Eastern, weekday afternoons on the Talk Superstation.
It's funny.
Yeah. So let us know what you like. We love hearing from you.
Let me drop a needle on a record. This is going to blow your mind.
Social media is bringing us all closer together.
Facebook.com/TalkSuperstation.
I don't have this many people that follow me on Facebook, and yet I have 8,000 likes.
Yeah. And make it trend. I want to see it on Twitter.
Finally, a voice to all those tweets.
Yeah.
Twitter.com/TLKSuperstation. Words can only say so much.
This guy's hilarious. I'm going to retweet this.
Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff.
That's a great combination, man.
Your socially active radio station.
I have the CEO of MySpace on my dial-a-phone.
You should tweet that.
Okay.
I want to get everybody's opinion.
TalkSuperstation.com. Ladies and gentlemen,
broadcasting from the capital of the world,
New York. New York.
All you do is talk.
This is TalkSuperstation.com.
Permission to speak freely.
You talk your ass off.
Talk. Spoken here.
Okay, we're back for the second hour of the show. And before the break, I was saying to you that this new amazing drug with remarkable results is called nivolumab. And it was decided from the study that it was better than ipilimumab, Yarvoy, that killed a good number of people during the trial. Now here, they're not saying that it killed people during the trial because, as I told you, if they see that somebody's going to die, they drop him from the trial and they drop him from the statistics. But also some people quit or, they are just hidden and sent off to do something else so they won't die while they are being on trial. But you have to remember one thing. The drug trials are intended to figure out how fast that drug kills a patient, if it's acceptable to be used, and how much of that drug can a patient take before it gets killed. So they're not intended to help the participant. They're not intended to save their lives. They're only intended to see how the company can use and make a bundle of money with it without being that devastating and that obvious and being exposed quickly. Just take time, it's okay, but if you do it, kill the patient too quickly, then you are too exposed to lawsuits and all sorts of problems that FDA might not be able to cover for you. Because that's what it amounts to. FDA is not approving, FDA is covering up. That's all FDA is doing. But anyway, what I was trying to say just before the break is that nivolumab. The study of nivolumab was sponsored by the drug maker, Bristol Myers Squibb, and several of the authors of the study reported financial ties to the company. Okay? Interesting, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Financial ties to the company. And get this, the researcher would not speculate about the potential price of nivolumab. They probably don't even know, but they know some things. But drugs of this kind, get this, tend to cost thousands of dollars a month. Okay? Have you heard enough?
Yep.
Yep. Yes, that's why they do it. Okay. And then, I don't know why they write these ridiculous articles, but there is this other one, and it's actually, I was going to talk about it last week because it's dated February 21st, but as I said, we didn't get to it. There was something about tonsil cancer, okay? And study were presented the week before the 21st of February. They were presented at the Multidisciplinary Head and Neck Cancer Symposium in Scottsdale, Arizona. They always keep these super expensive places, to go to. Scottsdale is a very happily expensive area. Anyway, so what they concluded was that advanced tonsil cancer may respond well to targeted radiation. Okay, what's wrong with this? Well, the word may, for one thing. Tonsil cancer may respond well to, and the other problem with the wording is targeted radiation. First of all, radiation has been used for tonsil cancer for a long, long time. And after all these years, they can only come up with may not certainty of any kind, and may. And then they come up with the awful, misleading, giving false hope of targeted, connected with radiation. There is no such a thing as targeted when you're talking radiation. Okay? But let's see what they say. The study found that the location of the original tumor, rather than the amount of cancer in lymph nodes on the side of the neck, affect the risk of cancer on other side of the neck. Okay, so it's just, that's a stupid statement, but let me say, the location of the original tumor, not how many lymph nodes are affected, is what affect the appearance of another tumor on the other side of the neck. That's pretty difficult to prove anyway, but that's what they're stating. Okay, all treatment, and actually they are admitting that, all treatment of cancer, surgery, radiation, chemotherapy, although effective, yeah, right, can cause temporary, yeah, and or, yeah, permanent toxicity, or can affect long-term quality of life. Really, we would never suspect that? Like your jawbone crumbling and so on? Okay. But our research indicates that for approximately selected patients with tonsil cancer, the volume of radiation therapy necessary to control the cancer can be significantly reduced. Yes, because people have done an overkill so far. Therefore, reducing the side effects and toxicity of radiation, but still achieving a high level of tumor control. Basically, what they're saying is we have used radiation up to this point where we have used too much of it, overkill, and we can use less and still have the same results, which in any case are useless anyway. But with that is they're using less radiation, less exposure. They call it targeted. You don't target radiation because it goes on forever. That's why people have to leave, that are healthcare staff, will leave the room on your own. I mean, come on. And this is considered an article worth published. Okay? You'll be the judge of that. Yeah. Okay. And then there was another article, it was last week, that caught my eye. Something. How the article is trying to, the title is trying, as usual, is trying to give the wrong impression of what is really going on. And what the article says, still again on February 21st, it says FDA issues first order to stop sale and distribution of tobacco products, which leads you to the conclusion, oh no, so I cannot buy tobacco products anymore? FDA has the power to stop me from buying cigarettes? Not me, because I don't smoke. I never have. I never could stand the secondary smoke. But I'm just saying, the average individual say, wait a minute, from this title and this article, you get the impression that FDA is going after tobacco products and has the authority to put a ban on sale of tobacco products. Not such a thing, okay? What it is that certain products, and I don't know what they are because I don't use cigarettes or, tobacco, but maybe you know what they're talking about.
Not really.
There are several products, and they're called Sutra Bidis Red.
Oh, Bidis. Those are little Indian cigarettes. Yeah, they're from, they're supposedly made in India.
Oh. And Sutra Bidis Menthol, Sutra, yeah, they would tell you that is India.
They're tiny,
Bidis Red Cone, Sutra Bidis
little bitty cigarettes. And they're usually in different flavors.
Yeah, menthol here is listing. But he's saying that they were not found substantially equivalent to tobacco products commonly marketed in the U.S., so are their product not acceptable, and they're gonna stop in the sale of those. Well, that's totally different, okay? Say in order to stop sale and distribution of tobacco products, and then it only applies to these imports. They cannot import them, and they cannot be sold anymore. That's a totally different thing, and it's totally misleading article to put the fear in people that they won't be able to buy cigarettes. I think that's what it is. So they're tiny cigarettes, huh?
Yeah, they are. Well, I bought some in a tobacco store like over a decade ago. But they were kind of over by the clove cigarettes. The ones I got, I think, were orange flavored. They've got some kind of like orange peel, something, in the tobacco.
They are not restricting those. They're only restricting the red and the menthol.
Huh.
I don't know what the red is.
I don't either.
Yeah, but the menthol, they're restricting those. But see, 10 years, it took them 10 years to get to restrict them. And the reason why they're being restricted because the company failed to meet the requirement of FDA that basically they didn't provide the required information. And so they're stopping the sale. But see, the article is trying to give you the impression that FDA is the authority to stop you from smoking. It's just a bunch of malarkey, It's just, and most people don't read a full article, okay? Most people don't. They see that title and, man, they panic. Just ridiculous, the usual ridiculous garbage that we are facing every single day of our life, and I'm just fed up with FDA. FDA should be terminated, but it's another one of those organizations, like they were saying about that TSA whistleblower. They were saying that on the Obama administration, things have gotten so much worse, and really whistleblowers don't have any protection. Well, obviously, people working in the medical that are not part of the mainstream medicine thing are also in the same boat and are also being attacked. So it's one of those. And what they are saying is, well, they're actually not saying anything about FDA abuses. They're just misleading what FDA can do. And that has been going on for quite a while. Anyway, so, and this is another article that I thought would be interesting, and it's March 1st, so we're already stepping into March with the articles. And this article basically saying nothing new, but they're restating the fact that the PSA testing is totally useless, and the level of PSA don't tell you anything. Okay, you could just have an enlarged prostate, and people end up being mutilated for nothing because they didn't really have a prostate cancer. Okay, and people and doctors still keep using it. They're not ditching it, and they're still messing up people's lives based on a test that is worthless. And then they're saying, oh, but there is another test that is coming out that is, well, I don't know if it's coming out or has been around for a while. Since there are no early signs of early warning signs, they have to find some way to predict what is happening, and what they're using as prostate cancer specific signs are not acceptable. Then they're saying there is it's actually in the UK there is a blood test that they're using, and that it's at least a way to determine if the men are susceptible. See, there again, susceptible to the prostate cancer. There is something they carry in their, I guess a gene mutation that they carry. Now is the big thing now, gene mutation that they carry that can tell if they are prone to get prostate cancer, just like they're using the gene for the presence of gene for a tendency to get breast cancer. But having the genes and being prone or maybe genetically oriented toward getting is not equivalent to actually getting it. You might never get it, and you scare people, and you put them through all these tests for nothing. So even the blood testing is pretty worthless. They're trying to say that it's a great thing, and some other people say it's a hoax, and it's just the wrong approach. You shouldn't have a treatment that is dependent on attacking it just as it starts. Wait till it becomes cancer, and then attack it with something that is valid, with something that can actually kill the cancer, which they don't have. That's the point. wait that the person actually has cancer, not that it might or has the tendency, it is prone or is genetically set up to get it, because that does not mean anything. And as you know, I have had in the past some patients and that were guests on the show, and they were talking about their history. How do you justify somebody that had cancer and the spouse had cancer also, the same type of cancer? How do you justify that? Don't tell me they're genetic, because they're two different people, two different pool of genes. How come they get the same kind? It has to be from the environment, wherever they were. Because even taking the same medication is highly unlikely. Two different individuals not related by anything else by marriage, having the same disease. And I've seen it happening, not just the particular case I had a guest discussing it. The reason why I had that particular case was that not only husband and wife had the same type of cancer, but also they followed different routes. They decided to handle the cancer in a different way. One went the standard, listening to whatever garbage the AMA members told them and whatever nonsense of clinical trial and all sorts of things they decided to do to him. And the other one, the wife going for alternative treatment, namely ours. What happened? The difference is that, 8 years later, he has been dead for 4, and she's fine. But they both had the same kind of cancer. Don't tell me it was genetic. Can't be. They were just connected by marriage, nothing else. They didn't have the same genes, but they had the same type of cancer. So that means that it was something in the area where they lived that had something that will cause cancer. They handled it different, and the outcome was different. Anyway, so I don't know. These studies that say, this person is predestined to get cancer, and especially in prostate cancer, it doesn't mean really anything, because a person could have prostate cancer, as I said before, an old man have prostate cancer. The cancer grows so slowly that won't make any difference. And as they say, all men die with the prostate cancer, not of prostate cancer. Of course, now the way they handle it, they could die of prostate cancer treatment. But most people today die of treatment, not cancer. So the prostate is the same. But medicine goes on. And one article this week really got me and made me pretty upset, because this is the end of February, this article. And it made me pretty upset because of what, quote, scientists, they call themselves scientists, I don't think so, are getting into mitochondrial DNA replacement. And the FDA is looking into it and see if it should be permitted. Okay? Now they discuss what the mitochondria are, the different mitochondrial manipulation and testing of the mitochondrial manipulation. One thing they don't mention is, mitochondria do a lot of things, and they are in the cytoplasm and can do different things. But the main job of the mitochondria, and is not even mentioned here, is they are the lungs of the cell. You breathe and bring in oxygen with properly functioning mitochondria. Now, they have discovered that they have other property, they do other things, and they decided that if they can manipulate the mitochondria in a cell, they can change what a woman can do, and basically an older woman might be able to have genetic children. I mean, their own children, not raising adopted ones or something. Okay, but of course, they have concern about what's the effect on the child, the life of the child, what is affecting what the signals and the characteristics they transmit to the child. So, but who cares? Why do you want to go and mess cells up for this? Have children at the right time. Don't wait till late. What can I say? You want children, have them at a time when you can carry them and not mess up your physiology, your structure. And this is something that the FDA is considering, allowing, manipulate, mess up the cells, manipulate and do transplant of mitochondria so women can have children later in life. Okay, don't you think that's kind of messing with nature? And they're considering whether they're going to allow it or not. But food coloring mixed with the Saline, no, that cannot be considered. That is really dangerous, okay? Manipulating the mitochondria, no. That is something to consider, and in Europe they are already allowing, they have all regulations with it. But don't talk to FDA about the food coloring. Does that make any sense to anybody? I just don't understand. Okay? How can in a civilized country this be permitted? Okay? I don't know. But there are no... Oh, and another thing, not that I agree to any of these tests, because I said anything that look into the genetic of a person trying to determine if they get this disease or not, I don't agree with that, because that's a luck of the draw. They might or might not. That doesn't mean anything, knowing the genetic format and deciding that will cause it. It won't. It might. There is a big difference between might and will. So, but anyway, the reason why I bring this up is because there is still a big fight, and Medicare has decided to slash, not reduce, slash their reimbursement for BRCA gene testing. That's because of the cost. But, as I said before, that is fine, that is acceptable, that is conceivable, that is something that should be done. But 1 million to Ukraine is done without hesitation, right? And as I said, I don't support those testing. I don't agree with that. They are subject to tremendous mistake and creating a lot of worry, unnecessary worry to people. But it still should not be done, slashing those reimbursements at the same time, because people that want it are going to have it anyway. They might pay for it themselves, but they will have it anyway. Slashing that while you're throwing away all this money outside the country on what? Why are we giving money to Ukraine? Can anybody tell me that? Why? What's the excuse? Okay, that's what is happening in this country. But, and another article that I thought, remember last week that we were talking to John, and he said there were all these women that have been diagnosed with breast cancer. Actually, they had nothing. They underwent surgery and all of that. Okay. This article says that mammography false alarms are a problem that need to be fixed. Gee, no kidding. I mean, we know they're a problem. Is anybody doing anything? Well, they're trying to look into a solution to this problem. Gee, how about the fact that a mammogram are useless and don't do it? No, that is not something that is offered. Anyway, and most people say that their decision was due to have a mammogram is because of what the doctor told them to do. And you do what the doctor tells you to do without questioning? See, that's a best. I think that's a best bet for disaster. But, yeah, it's a problem that needs to be fixed. Yeah, really. I would have never suspected that. And how do you fix it? Well, you just have to figure out whose fault it is. Well, the fault is of the test itself. Don't do it. And if somebody proposes it to you, say no. We still have the ability of saying no. People have forgotten that. We have the ability and the right to say no. Can we do it? I don't know. And this other article, this was early January that came out, and says that in many cases, breast cancer surgery is pretty painful. And they are chopping off a part of your body. The nerves are all messed up. They don't know what to do. And it says that the pain persists even 1 year after breast cancer surgery. And that doesn't surprise me. And they are trying to put together the reason why that happens. And, of course, one of the reasons they list is pre-operative pain. That means they were in pain before they started. Now, this is interesting because patient had pain before they had surgery. They supposedly removed the cancer, the cause for the pain, and the pain persists. Okay? Oh, well, it does. But my patient that during the healing process experienced pain, well, that was because I'm a fraud. And what I do doesn't work. See the different perspective? The other cause for pain, of course, there is a list of all the causes for why the pain persists, and I can finish it up after the break. We got the break coming in, and I can finish it up. But I found it really disgusting that that's just the way it is. But for me, oh no, that's because that treatment is not, and the patient was not. The treatment was not effective. The patient was not cured. Okay. We'll be back after this patient.
It's so hard to keep the smile from my face. Losing control, yeah, I'm all over the place. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
Off the air live. Anything that's fun we're not allowed to do. It's going to get to the point where we're not even going to be able to take a shit because it feels too nice. They're going to be like, oh, you enjoyed going to the bathroom way too much. We're going to have to regulate how often you do that. We're going to have a time and a place where it's away from the children because we don't want our children to know that this exists. Poop is gross and they shouldn't find out about poop until they're 18. Would it still be indecent if we were to genetically modify the human body so that nipples had eyelids? Would it be okay for you as a woman to remove the top half of your clothes and go out in public? Because is it just the nipple? Is it just that one part? And if it was covered up by more skin that was the same color as the boob, would it be okay? And then I was thinking this, if you really wanted to genetically modify the body, what you could do is that make sure the nipple only opens up for only people that are above the age of 18, even though when they were babies, they sucked on these things. Off the Air Live, Saturday nights at 10 on TalkSuperstation.com.
We are back from the break, and we are at the last segment of today's program. And before we had the break, I was trying to tell you the causes. They have established what are the causes of pain after breast cancer surgery. And I said the initial cause that they introduce is the most common is when the patient is already in pain before surgery. Well, if the patient is in pain because of the cancer, by removing the tumor, that should eliminate the pain. So why didn't they? But they say if it was there before, it's going to be there after and can be there even a year after. Okay, so you go through the suffering or having your breast removed and the pain is still there. And it goes on for at least a year. Wonderful. The other cause for pain is axillary surgery when they remove the lymph nodes, the sentinel and other. And then the other cause for pain, surprise, surprise, is chemotherapy. Like I would have never guessed that, would you? And the other one is radiation therapy. Gee, I wonder why. And then again, they say, but they said it already, and they repeat the worst preoperative pain at treatment site, whatever that means. We already said the preoperative pain. Okay, these are the causes, the cases of pain persisting a year after. That's pretty pathetic overall evaluation. They claim that a third of the people participating in the study did not have any pain. 1/3 did not have any pain, but half of the patient had mild pain, and then 16% had, we're almost getting over 100 here. But they had that really bad pain. But they say that there was some limitation on the validity of the research and everything. Now, I like to tell you, so I introduced this because of a particular reason. Now, patients have surgery, chemo, and radiation, and they are in pain, breast pain, and okay, that happens. It's a year later, and it's still there. Okay, that happened because of the breast surgery or treatment. They didn't specify. They say the both can occur. Okay, and it's worse when the pain was really bad before. So, okay, but patients that went to laser Inc. when they were really bad cases with the tumor out of the skin, looking like a royal mess, and which really is a situation that the established can do nothing for it. They were treated and they were improvements, and the patient had no pain for a month or two when the first immune response started. When they started being in pain, oh, well, you know, that's it. Your cancer is alive and growing, and we are going to make you comfortable. You know what that means.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, say goodbye to your kids.
Your affairs in order.
Yeah, and we're going to make you comfortable. With patient that had a totally dead tumor, and you could even look at it and see that it was totally dead. But they're in pain. Oh, well, you know, that means the cancer is going. What about those cases? No, that's different because they went to standard treatment. See the hypocritical stand and the lies, outrageous lies. Just looking at one thing the same way. No, that's just pain, healing pain, and it doesn't mean a thing. But the one laser patient, that pain, well, that's because cancer is still alive. And we can look at it and know that it's still alive. Yeah. Do the proper testing. No. That's not the proper testing. We don't need to do that. We can look at it and see that the cancer is alive. Yeah. We can see that you're full of cancer. Yes, of course. Anyway, those are the things that have been going on. Oh, by the way, when we talked about brain function, omega-3, that helps the brain function of monkeys, are you going to get a monkey to eat salmon or tuna? Are you going to get to do that? I like to know. Anyway, so what did they do? Give him pills? That's different. But anyway, so that's what we read before. This other article, though, says that caffeine enhances memory, okay? So it helps your brain remembering things and, functioning. Okay, I think we should buy that. It's a lot better than what they do to monkeys. I guess they couldn't do the testing on monkeys. This is done on human, and it's just observation. And I think it's good news. Well, because it keeps you, if you're sluggish, you drink coffee, you feel more alert. So it's obviously doing something to you. And I don't know, it is very possible that salmon and tuna does it too. But you cannot have salmon and tuna every day like instead you can have coffee every day. So I don't know, okay? I don't know what to tell you, but I am not too fond of the monkey thing. Anyway, I wouldn't. Oh, and then, this is funny, and it might very well be, but this is in favor of alternative, and this article says that curcumin, which, by the way, comes for turmeric, it's just one of the components, so you can take either curcumin or turmeric, it doesn't matter, it does the same thing. It says that reduces urinary side effects after radiation therapy for prostate cancer patients. And it is entirely possible. I don't know. I haven't had prostate patients. I don't know. I know that reduces inflammation. That's all I know. So it can help. But then they also say it may help prevent metastasis. I don't have a problem with that. I don't see how that could be. Okay? The curcumin or turmeric has the thing of controlling inflammation. So the swelling of the bladder that comes after radiation therapy can be controlled with curcumin. And so I can see how that controlling the side effects and how that can be a solution. But actually preventing metastasis, that doesn't sound quite right. But utilizing curcumin because of its anti-inflammation characteristic, yes. And I can see how that happened, and I can see how that helped. Metastasis, it's very hard because once you have had surgery, and even radiation causes other cancers. So why would you want to do that in the first place? Okay, now there is another, because some of these articles have a value, but then they mess it up with their own interests. So I don't see how something that is anti-inflammation can stop metastasis. Logically speaking, doesn't make any sense. Doesn't compute like it. Okay. There is another article, and see, a lot of these articles are not looking at the scientific side. They say, we did some study and we got these results. First of all, how the study was done. And then how the results, how you get to the conclusion, how the results were labeled and how they were quantified at a significant level, what details were really considered to come to that conclusion. And this article say childhood mortality is higher in offspring of fathers over 40. Okay, now there are plenty of people over 40 that have children nowadays. You know, not all kids are lucky enough to have young parents. I consider it lucky because my parents were old, and I don't think that's a good combination at all. Not at all. My father was stuck in the Middle Ages with his mentality. My mother had these other problems. So, no, I don't like old patients, old parents, because they've been single for so long, even though they think they want kids, they find them annoying. So, and they are a nuisance. They are very domineering. I don't like older parents, so I'm not for it. But I don't buy this thing that, and this is fathers only over 40. Well, there are more fathers over 40 than mothers, so it's pretty common. You would have to have. I don't buy this story at all, but that's what they're saying. If you're telling me that the kids are going to have headaches, children of fathers over 40 are going to have headaches, maybe even migraine. I don't know. That's possible. More believable, but mortality, I don't. Unless the father is already on all sorts of medication, okay? But otherwise. Okay. Now, the other thing I have a problem with, I don't know if you have seen this article, but let me see if I can find it. I remember what it says. I just was trying. Well, anyway, it's this article that came on the web discussing the fact that have been cases in polio, similar to polio. I think they counted 5 children that had that. And apparently they were all in California, okay? And they looked into these, the muscle that has no messed up muscle and they were all permanent. They all happen in California. They say they've heard of other cases in Australia, but the ones in the U.S. they were all in California, okay? And they say they looked at polio in the first place, but because all the kids had been vaccinated, so they had antibody, okay, then it cannot be. So they started looking at other possibility, and they seem to find a virus that can cause that. Okay, I don't remember the name because I cannot find the article, so I don't remember the name. They named this bacteria, whatever it is. I don't know, virus, bacteria, whatever, which one. But no. I don't know, okay, I don't remember the name. But that was their conclusion, and they said it's not an amount that could cause an alert and people to panic, but they're just watching, okay? And I have a problem the way they're watching. First of all, if it was a new strain or something, why would it happen only in California, okay? Children in California, and not all of them had fever before, like the polio used to, or this other strain that they have, they are assuming is causing this problem. No, they say maybe 1 or 2 had fever, but the others didn't. And so they're just assuming. And to me, that's what it is, an assumption. My question is, okay, did they investigate the fact why just in California? No other state in the country, just California. And children, what age are the children? They were in different area, but what age were they? And did they investigate when they were vaccinated? And they said they were vaccinated, therefore it's not polio. Really? Did you check? How can you check? Did you check that the vaccine was actually effective? Because I know that with diphtheria years ago, they had to admit the fact that some of the diphtheria virus was not destroyed by the vaccination, or at least not one shot alone. And so they had to do, I think, 2 or 3. And in some cases, just didn't work at all, okay? I have diphtheria, and I was vaccinated, so I don't buy when they say it was vaccinated so they had antibody. Only if the vaccine was good and they were properly vaccinated, okay? So did they investigate when these kids, even though we're different parts of the country, how far away from one another were they, and the dates of vaccination? Could they go back and figure out the lot of the vaccine? No, they can't. But that is something they should consider. Maybe the vaccination against polio was not that effective, and they ended up maybe a milder form, but that's why they didn't have fever, but they still had the effects of polio. Did they consider that? Not at all. Oh, it's vaccinated, so they're fine. Couldn't be polio. That's stupid. And to me, the first thing that points a finger at things is all in one state. That could be a lot of the vaccine that wasn't working. See? The ignorance in the medical is scary. And we are investigating. What they're doing is sitting there and seeing how many more cases show up. That's their investigation. Okay? See if there are other cases that show up. That's it. When the damage is gone, then what? Do it to prevent the damage, not after. And this is what we have. People in charge of our health. They want to be in charge. They want to pass themselves as expert. And they haven't the foggiest idea of what the heck they're doing. And we're the ones suffering. I don't know if you can live with that. I mean, come on. Let's start to have some head being dropped, okay? Starting with the head of FDA. Let's get to work here. Yeah. Yes. And the other article that I have read said, well, that goes back of all the problem of antidepressants, okay? And what they're saying is that the antidepressant side effects that damage the liver have been underestimated for years. No kidding. Oh, but because the liver injuries are unpredictable, then we really don't know. And how long after they started taking antidepressant when there is an inset of liver damage. And from this article, they say it might happen as early as 6 months after. It's just, are they going to stop using antidepressant? No, we're keeping an eye on the patient, and then the doctors are being cautious. They're not stopping it. They're just being cautious. Okay. So what do you call being cautious? Monitor the patient when they develop liver cancer. Said, okay, the antidepressants are bad for this person. We're going to stop them. Well, that's kind of late, wouldn't you say? After the cows have left, you close the barn door. That's the same thing. So, yeah, those are the great methods of the medical industry. We monitor them. It's just like, that's what one patient of mine told me years ago. She went through the healing process like I warned her about it, but she was chicken. She got scared, given misinformation by her doctor, so she decided to go ahead and undergo Herceptin therapy. You know how awful Herceptin is. Yeah. And I said, what the heck are you doing? Your cancer is dead. You're just having immune response, and then it eases off. If you keep taking garbage, it will never go off. But no, it's okay. I said, what do you mean it's okay? Do you know that it causes a heart problem? Oh, but it's okay because the doctors are watching it. I don't have any problems yet. Well, it takes over a year of taking it to develop. Oh, but the doctor is watching it. Really? I was watching it how? Wait that it shows up. When it shows up, it stops Herceptin? Or instead, continue Herceptin and give you a medication for your heart disease? When you get it, it's too late. You've been watching it, but it's here. Oh, well, big deal. And then what? Unbelievable. And people believe that nonsense. Oh, the doctor's watching it, so I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, the doctor's watching it, and who cares? It's not his case. It's not his body. If you get the heart problem, it's your problem, not his. So he can watch as long as he wants. You are the one on the line. It's just the same. Oh, we're watching. We know about these side effects. We're watching it. And if it happened, well, then we'll give you more medication. More money to the system.
Yep.
Well, it's like, how do you solve the problem of having too many antibiotic prescriptions? How do you solve the problem? It's rampant in the medical. They use the antibiotic way too much. Actually, it's in the hospital that they use it way too much because they have such a unhealthy and unsanitary condition. Instead of spending more money and hiring more personnel to clean the place, what they do, they pump the patients with antibiotics. See? It costs them less because the patient is paying for the antibiotic. They are not paying for the cleaning staff. So, but anyway, how do you reduce the overprescription? Give me an intelligent solution. Because this one is not intelligent. You solve it by not prescribing so many. You resolve the overprescription of antibiotic by not giving them so much. The antibiotic, by not giving them that many antibiotics. Yes, how about reducing the exposure to infection? Huh? That would be the one. Not reducing the amount of antibiotic you're giving. Because if they need it, they need it. They have an infection, you got to do something. The point is, stop the infection from happening. And by reducing the prescription, anyway, you're not going to solve it. Anyway, so let's look at some other idiotic... I already talked to you about that one, reducing the mammogram. Why? And you know, I already talked to you about the fact that oncologists are happy with their career.
Well, they make good money.
They make so much money. Obviously, they're happy with their career. Okay, and I already discussed to you why the medical establishment is attacking the alternative treatment and they are against natural cancer cures because they claim that is not true, that there is a conspiracy. See, it's not true what I say. There is no conspiracy by the medical establishment. It's not a conspiracy to keep you sick. It's not a conspiracy to keep you taking drugs so they can have all these perks from the drug companies. No, it's not that.
Lee Harvey Oswald shot Kennedy.
Yeah, it was only, and there was there a magic bullet?
And four bad flight students with box cutters brought down the World Trade Center.
And Sharon killed Bob Kennedy.
Right.
Yeah, so what happened is that the medical conspiracy, it's lying. It's not true that the medical is afraid of competition, doesn't want and is suppressing things that work. Not true. That is all a built-up nonsense by all these people that claim to have a solution. Mind you, I never said that I can cure it. Well, it all depends what you call cure, okay? And that's another debate. You have pneumonia, the doctor gives you the proper antibiotic, the proper medication, and you get well. Are you cured of pneumonia? Of course you are. But can pneumonia come back? Of course it can, because it could be a different strain. So does that mean because pneumonia can come back that the doctor is a fraud when he tells you are cured of pneumonia? Tell me, is that possible? No, that's not what happens. It only happens when it comes to cancer and when it comes to alternative practitioner, namely yours truly. See how everything changes standard depending on convenience? Oh, but there is an epidemic, a tidal wave of cancer, and it's only gonna get worse, see? So we have to book. And who is responsible? Tobacco is responsible. That's the article, actually, that's what it says, that tobacco is responsible for the tidal wave of cancer. And tobacco is the guilty one. How do you get that to stop? By making FDA.
What about the founding fathers? They all smoked and grew tobacco. They all smoked and, well, never mind.
Yeah, they all died in war, so you can't really tell. Most of them died in battle, so you can't really tell.
We're about to hit the 2-minute warning, by the way.
Okay. And what about George Washington that died of cure? He had pneumonia, didn't he? And they kept taking blood out to reduce his fever.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it seems like I remember him being bled.
Yeah, he was bled to death, basically. But I don't remember what it was. I think it was pneumonia, but I don't remember which malady it was. But they kept taking out blood to reduce his fever, and he died. How about using some ice and leaving his blood in place? Stupid. But, those days were the days, and I think comparatively speaking, we are at the same condition. Those were the days that bleeding was solving anything. Now are the days that poison solves everything. Same thing, and you're killing people with poison like you were killing people by removing their blood. Same thing. The same ignorance, the same horror. Awful. Are we going to put a stop to it? How did the bleeding of patient come to an end? I don't remember. I think it was an antibiotic that reducing the fever, wasn't it?
You got me. I know cutting bleeding, I think, took over from cutting holes in the skull to let demons out.
Oh, well.
Trepanation or whatever they call it.
Yeah, that was before, right? So, the conclusion is the medicine is always being full of quacks that have messed up AMA as quack agency that has messed up people's lives and has become really vicious these days because of all the money they make with drugs. Okay, I think we cover just about the main point this week, and I hope you have a good week, and we'll be back fighting fists out as we always have against everything that is wrong in America. Have a good weekend and have a good week until next Saturday.